name's Viduni, and I'm the founder of the COVID-19 Patient Assistant app. Today I'm doing a tutorial video of how the app works, but let's start with what the goal of the app is. The app essentially is so then when a COVID-19 patient is in self-quarantine, which is isolation, and they begin to suddenly have severe symptoms such as difficulty of breathing or chest pain, they can immediately use this app to contact 911 and to alert their loved ones. So then, because in a situation like this, every second counts. Now, let's get to it with seeing how the app works. Okay, so here is the first screen. I would like to first give credit to Pixabay for the photos. Pixabay is a site where I could download free, good quality photos. So yeah. And so as you can see, there are two buttons. One says sign in and one says sign up. Sign in obviously means for a patient/user who already has an account, and sign up is for a patient/user who does not have an account and wants to create one. So let's say that in the scenario where the patient downloads the app, they are going to make an account. So let's go to sign up. Okay, so now that we're at the sign up page, this is where the user will have to fill in these four fields. A username / patient user ID. So I'll just say I put in that, and then a password. And another feature that I wanted to show is that none of these text boxes can be left empty. So I'm going to show you how. I click submit. You'll get an error message saying your username has already been used, and contact number cannot be blank. And so now I am going to fill in everything. And I would like to also mention that I think that the user should, the health authorities should be the ones that show the patient the app after the patient has been diagnosed with COVID-19, just so then to make sure it goes into good hands and to make sure that everything works properly and there's nothing that goes wrong. And so I have filled in, and I have a database. When I click submit, all this data that I have typed in will go into a database, which is Firebase, and you see all the other user accounts are here and are saved in this database. And once I click submit, this will transfer to the computer, and it will show up as a new account. And so I'll just do that. Submit. Might take a bit of time. And as you can see, it just showed up a new account. So yeah. Okay, so now that we've created an account, we have our dashboard / home screen, and it has all the information. One thing that I forgot to mention on the registration page is that if the patient types in a letter in the text box that it had for the contact number, it would say it would give the user an error, since you can't have letters in a phone number, and so that is to make sure that it's a real phone number. Now here, there's your address, and then we have the help button, which is the button that the patient will be holding down for 3 seconds, and it will send a message to their loved one or whoever they mentioned. And for now, it's someone I put a friend of mine's contact number, since I'm not supposed to put the real police number, 911. And then we have the other features of the app, which are the posting feature, where you can share your experience with your recovery process, what's going on with COVID-19 for you, and kind of share your thoughts about everything to the app community. And then we have the edit profile information, edit data, which lets you edit, like, say if you want to edit your username, your name, if you typed it wrong, or if you want to change the phone number, you can do that all there. And then finally, we have the info screens, where it gives you more information about COVID-19, when to use the app, and how this app could be beneficial for you. And finally, the last part of the screen would be the logout button, which is pretty straightforward, just logs you out and takes you back to the first screen, where you have to sign in again or sign up and make a new account. Now that we've logged out, I'll show you the sign-in screen. Now you'll have to type in your user ID, and my previous one was and so I'm just going to make a purposeful mistake and pretend that was by accident. And what the application is going to do is it's going to look in the database, check if this username is in the database, and if it isn't, it's going to tell me that it isn't. And see, it says your username or password does not exist. Try again. And this time I am going to type in the correct username, and I am going to log in. Okay, so let's go first and see what the features are and what their screens look like. So let's start with edit data. Now see, you can edit your password, you can edit your contact number, and your name. And if you want to just completely clear everything, click reset. If you want to save, say I am going to change my name to, say, this. And then I am going to save it. It's going to ask you, are you sure you want to save? And you can either say keep for later, basically just means no. I'm going to say yes. And it takes me back to the home page. But if you don't want to save, and if you don't want to change anything, then just go back home and say yes. Okay, so now we'll go to the post page. So essentially what the post page is for patients to share their experience, their symptoms, and basically anything that's on the topic of their recovery with COVID-19. And so here, there are the instructions of what to do.
Click post to share your experience with others.
And then if they make a mistake, they can just click reset. The great thing about this is that it's anonymous, so no one knows who you are, and your privacy is not leaked. Another thing to remember is that this is not mandatory. It's optional. You can post if you want to share your experience. You can post. If you don't feel like you want to do that, that's up to you. And so I don't really have anything to say. Just one thing to remember is keep the posts appropriate. If there are any non-appropriate posts in the page, they will be deleted. So that's something to remember. So I'm just going to go back home. Okay, so finally we have the info screens. The info screens are there to educate you on COVID-19, how this app can benefit you, and when to use the app. So this is what the info menu will look like. There are the 3 topics that I listed more about COVID-19. We have a video. It's pretty short, about only 30 seconds long, and pretty clear, straightforward. I'll just pause that. And then I have go back to info menu or go back to home screen. I'll go back to info menu, which is here. Then we'll see when to use the app. It lists what the app is for, what it will do, and when the symptoms that you should have when you are going to press the help button. And then finally, the benefits of the app. This has the help button, the posts, which is sharing your experience, and the information. You can also go to the bccdc.ca website for more information if you want to learn more. And yeah, and so I'm going to go back to home screen. Thank you for watching.